away we go. Hello, and welcome to Easing Stress and Emotions with your host, Dr. Ben Dover, where the doctor will teach you how to relax and calm your nerves. So now, bend over. Hello, everyone. Here to talk to you about the little things you can do in your life to make things happen a little better, a little easier for you. One of those things is closing your legs and tightening your vagina.
Broadcasting live from high atop Stonehead Peak in the Blue Mountain Range, overlooking gorgeous downtown Dillsburg, Pennsylvania, it's the Jeff and Dan Show. Attention passengers, it's Wednesday, it's 7 o'clock, it's time for the Jeff and Dan Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel, and I am your chief flight attendant today. On behalf of the captain, welcome aboard Jeff and Dan's Airlines, Flight 420 bound for Amsterdam. If you haven't already, please take a moment and stow away your carry-on luggage under your seat, in front of you, or in the overhead compartment. The captain of the Jeff and Dan Airlines Flight 420 has also requested that you turn off all electronic devices or turn the devices to airplane mode. We are pleased to announce that Jeff and Dan Airlines have some of the best flight attendants in the world. The bad news, none of them are on this flight. Passengers that are traveling with small children or elderly passengers, why? Why did you bring them with you? Did you not think of the comfort of other passengers around you? Would you want some bawling child or snoring, drooling old guy disturbing your flight? In the event of emergency, oxygen masks will drop in front of you, providing you with fresh, aerosolized THC Delta 9 compounds in order to bring you a more pleasant near-death experience. In the event of emergency, your seat cushion is also a flotation device. However, that would be of no use if, say, we crashed in a desert, or if we slammed into the ocean at over 200 miles per hour, there wouldn't be much left of you or the seat cushion, now would there? We will be taxiing shortly, so in preparation of departure, the captain has requested that all smoking materials be extinguished. You find your seat, fasten your ass in that seat, and secure your trays in the upright and locked position. And now, passengers, I would like to direct your attention to the front of the cabin. See him smoking a marijuana cigarette and gingerly sipping a Monster Slam? He is our pilot. A Monster Slam is a Monster energy drink from Coca-Cola brands mixed with watermelon schnapps, and your choice of rum or vodka. So please, give a warm salute to our captain and cohort of the Jeff and Dan Show. It's Captain Jeff. Good evening, Captain Jeff. How are you tonight, sir?
Not too bad, sir.
We are losing passengers right and left.
We are.
Yeah, we got to make the aircraft lighter somehow.
Yes, we do, somehow.
We're getting ready to take off, man.
Exactly. Here we are. We're high.
So will all the fat people please move to the exits?
Yeah, all the fat people, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. If you can.
Did you ever fly before?
I have.
How many times have you flown?
Only once.
Really?
Well, one that I remember. Seriously, the rest
were
were
that good, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was exactly.
Where and when?
It was in 1984, I think.
Okay.
And or maybe it was 85. But I had flown a commercial Learjet back from some bumfuck no place in West Virginia all the way back to Reagan International Airport, or Reagan National Airport, which at that point in time was just called National Airport because Reagan was still president.
What's it called now?
Reagan National Airport in D.C.
What's Dulles?
Just Dulles International
There's
Airport.
two separate airports?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder I can't get a flight.
And they say that that there's three independent airlines that you can actually use when you're in Washington, D.C. It's those two, and then BWI, which is Baltimore Washington International. The thing is, though, is that Baltimore Washington and Dulles are both really far out away from DC. It would take you at least an hour to get to either one of them.
So which one do most DC people?
Well, it depends on where they have to go, but most people end up going to Dulles. Yeah, they don't want to, because there's a big thing with, convexing of people from both D.C. and Baltimore, two large cities, trying to get, catch flights together. Although every time I've been to BWI, it hasn't been, overly stocked full of people. So
I don't know. There we go.
Yeah. We were falling out of the air for a minute. Okay, there it is. All right, we're done. So anyway.
Yep. Your flight from West Virginia to Dulles.
Yeah.
Was that government paid?
Yes, it was. Yep.
Were you possibly flying with a marshal?
Actually, I was not, because I wasn't a huge flight risk. They decided they didn't have to send me with somebody.
Really?
Yeah, so they guided me up to the airplane on the strip. They met me on the strip, or met the plane on the strip. I got on by myself. They flew me directly there. They knew I couldn't go anyplace else. And when I got to D.C., a federal marshal was waiting for me. So, yeah. Here I was, fucking 15 years old, and shitting my pants. And I'm just like, oh my God! Great story about that, though. On the way to the detention center, the marshal was approached by two very bikerish-looking people inside of an Aries K. And they were getting really pissed off with the way the marshal was driving. Apparently, he was driving, not something they wanted. So they started fucking flipping pennies at the car that I was in. And the marshal got kind of miffy. He didn't get mad. He just sort of giggled, but you could tell he was amping up. Like he was getting kind of mad. And the people didn't realize, and he pulled out the badge and flashed at the window, and the people were like, you're full of shit, like you're a fake cop or whatever. And then all of a sudden I lifted my hands up and showed them my handcuffs, and their faces changed real quick. And fucking, at that point in time, things was a different story. So, I did it, just out on the whim, because I thought these people really need to know who they're fucking with, because this is federal. This isn't, you even impede a federal marshal, and that's jail time right there.
I think today they would have been taken care of immediately.
Yeah. I mean,
And I don't think today you would have flown alone.
No. Yeah. Well, it depends. It depends on where you're at. And I was in the middle of, like I said, just fucking bumfuck nowhere, and it was a tiny airport that they took me to. So
you were 15.
Yeah, 14 or 15.
Yeah, that's why they wouldn't have left you alone.
Yeah,
today.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Back then, it was a little more safe. But,
you might have been molested by a blonde, blue-eyed, gorgeous-looking woman.
Well, I had already gotten to my kind of big size at that point, so most people weren't willing to take me on quite head-on at that point. So.
You weren't a molesting target.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless, of course, I said, you can molest me now. And they're like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. Yeah.
I have flown several times, all in the 80s, and I haven't flown since.
Wow.
First time was in a Cessna.
Yeah.
Little four-seater plane. I happened to get an opportunity. They were having some kind of festival.
Yeah.
In Corning and Painted Post, New York.
Okay.
Which are two cities. They're pretty much the same city, except a river divides them.
Yeah.
So it's two separate cities.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I got to fly. They were having a festival, and they wanted to know how many people attended this festival. I don't know if they still do this, but back then they would go up in an airplane and take pictures and come back down and estimate.
Oh.
Okay, this square inch has approximately, let's just say, 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And that's how they would do it.
I gotcha.
It was it was a pretty good rough estimation.
Yeah, that's how the National Park Service does it.
That was probably the best flying experience, because I saw everything.
Right.
Felt everything. Didn't get very high, which is a problem today. I don't know how high we got, but it wasn't that high, and we could easily make out shit down below. It didn't look like the carpet pattern, if you will.
Right, yeah, the little patchwork or whatever.
The next time I flew was on a DC-9, back and forth to Chicago 3 times. It was also 727. And the last time I flew was a flight from here to Hawaii, on and off again at San Francisco. Where else do we stop? L.A. And we flew on a big-ass 747.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big jets.
That was the hardest flight of my life.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but it was a long flight from San Fran to Honolulu with my sister.
Yeah.
It was just a long flight.
Yeah.
And I'm a big guy, a relatively big guy. I need a lot of room to stretch out.
Sure.
I didn't have it.
Yeah.
And boy, were my knees ever.
Aching like a
They
bitch.
were.
And that's when you're young. That's
right. That's when I was young. There was nothing wrong with my knees. And coming down, my ears started hurting.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why, because that cabin is pressurized.
Yeah.
And the doctor even told me one time, if you were to fly today, your ears would really hurt.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. And again, I don't know why. That cabin is pressurized.
Right, but it has to gradually depressurize as it's going down. So the change in atmosphere might have been a little more sudden for you.
Maybe that's what it was.
Same thing happened to me on the Cessna. I remember that, but I don't remember my ears like really, really badly hurting. But I do remember there being more like a pain that I could feel in them. And the same thing as going up, but when you're going up, you're not paying close attention to that. I've always just kind of been fearful of flying because of the idea that I am in a tube of toothpaste flying through the air at 30,000 feet. You know what I mean? And one thing, I know that everybody always says it's the safest way to travel. The chances of you getting into any kind of skirmish that would, potentially cause you issue is like 0.00001 or some crazy shit.
Granted.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, and I know that's a fact. But most car crashes aren't bad at all.
Right.
You feel bad, you get out and exchange information, cry a little bit, and go.
Get back in and put your leg back
Right.
on.
Any airplane crash is not going to be pretty.
Oh yeah,
so,
definitely.
And then it's also like you're pretty safe when you're flying, and you would ride on a boat across the ocean, wouldn't you? Well, yeah, but you're kind of forgetting the fact that I can swim, I can't fly.
Right. Exactly.
So, do you have a desire to fly at all?
Not really.
Not really?
I don't like roller coasters so much, and being blind when you're going up and down in those things is like...
Do you have a desire to, fly yourself? Like
get in and pilot myself?
No, grow your own wings?
Oh, yeah.
Or
have the ability to fly on my
yes.
own? Yeah.
Yes.
Sure, everybody's got that.
Yeah, that would be like a rush, man.
Yeah.
I would never go to work.
No, you'd just be delivering shit for Amazon.
I would deliver shit for Amazon. I would be peeking in windows.
Yeah. There's actually, I don't know if you know about this, but there's actually a $2 million prize right now to create a working prototype of a vehicle, for a single-person vehicle that flies.
Car?
Anything.
Anything.
It doesn't matter what it is, how it's made, anything. There's no stipulations, as far as I know, there's no stipulations as to how you can build this thing.
Well,
you just have to prove that you can take off vertically, hold in the air for some certain amount of time, and then land back down again.
Don't we already have that in one-seater military aircraft?
Yeah, that, and we do that, and then even jets and stuff like that can be flown with one person. But I think what they want is something more of the commercial, not military aspect of it. They want something that people would be able to buy. For the longest time we were like, ooh, hovering skateboards, that's cool shit, I can't wait till that comes out. And now we got something that's kind of like that, but not really.
Well...
and that kind of took off. A lot of people got hurt, a lot of people, sued the companies that made the stuff, whatever. But that's kind of the route that they're going. They want to be able to see flying cars or flying transports, I guess, within the next 10 to 15 years. So,
yeah, if we can do it, sure.
More power to them. Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go ahead and let that stop.
Okay. Do you know what an ultralight is?
Yes, I do.
Have you ever had a desire to fly one of them?
No.
No?
Nope.
I think I would do it.
Would you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you know what I'm not sure what it's called, but like an ultralight, take off the hang glider and put on a parachute.
Yes, parasailing. Or no, what is that? It's got another name to it. I think it's like parasailing,
It's
but it's
para
not.
something.
Yeah.
It's para something.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
But yeah, would you have a desire to do that?
No, not really.
Ah, man,
That
I
one.
think I would get up in that too.
That one's more like just a go-kart with a big old
Parachute.
swamp boat engine on the back of
Yeah.
it and a parachute holding you
Yeah.
up in the air.
Yeah.
See, my problem with those ideas is that if anything comes along like turbulence and folds that parachute, you can't reassemble that. That's going to fold. You're going to go straight down.
Oh yeah, and that's why that's why I would only be getting up 10, 20 feet off the ground for the first 20 or so flights.
Exactly.
I'm going to gradually grow a set of balls here.
I got 10 feet off the ground.
What are some plane wrecks you remember?
Oh, wow. I remember a lot.
You remember a lot?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember ones that are most notable, like that French airline that went off of Long Island, New York. It had a French club or whatever from the one school in it. And it just
TWA
disappeared.
Flight 800.
That sounds like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're the one where the that's still a mystery. That's still now the government, of course. The government doesn't lie.
Right.
The government tells us that it was what did they say it was? It was mechanical error.
Yeah, it was something that happened in mechanical
But
fire.
I've done a little bit of research myself, a little bit,
Yeah.
and I know enough that there have been contacts made to parents of that flight saying, could you please forgive so-and-so?
Mm-hmm.
He was in the Navy. And it all leads to somebody from the Navy shot that plane down.
Yeah,
And
pilot error. Or
that's-
not pilot error, but
That's what I believe.
friendly fire.
Friendly fire. And if that happened, it was a mistake, I'm sure.
I would think.
Why not man up? You mean to tell me in the entire history of our country we have never shot anybody accidentally down?
Oh, yeah.
Then why don't we man up and say it?
Yeah, tons of
Accidents
friendly
happen. We're sorry. Yeah, we know we're going to get sued.
Well, it's different. It's different if it's in a military mode, because military mode, if you shoot down a French fighter or Israeli fighter by accident, which would never happen because Israel has the best air force. But if you did and it was friendly fire, then yeah, it would probably be a little bit better than, hey, we just killed 189 people, civilians, on this flight for no reason. There's no reason a jet should have even been close to this other jet, So I don't know. I don't remember exactly the outcome of what happened there, but I do remember that flight. I remember everybody talking about that for a little while.
What other flights do you remember crashing?
I remember the Challenger crashing. I remember the Discovery crashing. Or was that the Atlantic?
I just read recently, which is the one that exploded first, Challenger?
Challenger, yeah.
I just read recently that after the explosion, some what do you call the astronaut suits?
Spacesuits?
Yeah, I guess, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
that you can survive in them.
Oh, sure.
Some
Yeah.
of them were activated after the explosion,
Oh, wow, really?
which means some were alive.
Might have been alive.
There were some that were alive,
Huh.
and of course, if that's the case, they were alive all the way down to they smashed into the ocean.
Yeah, that could have been. Yeah, that would technically suck. I never heard that, but yeah, it was tragic because it really, had it been an airline, and just something happened with the airline and okay. But when it's our space program, the thing we've been relying on, and we spend billions and billions of dollars, and and it goes down and kills all that. Yeah, that's a lot bigger than
A big PR move. Hey, it's our first teacher. Let's broadcast this and
let's put it into every single fucking elementary school classroom and see what we can find out.
I was playing volleyball that day, January 1986,
Right.
senior, East Juniata High. And this kid named John come in, and he said, yeah, the Challenger. No, wait. It was a teacher. Teacher come in and just announced the Challenger exploded.
Yeah.
And it was like, what?
Yeah.
Say
Okay.
what?
Yeah, everybody was like,
What do you mean?
yeah. At that point, we hadn't really seen that many losses when it comes to NASA and launch.
I think the last loss of life we had with a space accident was way back in the Apollo missions when the
Yeah.
one blew up
on the pad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was the only one that kind of comes to mind with
So
that.
that's 15, 16, 17 years separation there. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, what was the time difference between Challenger and Discovery?
Discovery was 2003. I don't remember. I know there was quite a bit of time between the two, but I can't remember exactly what.
So if it was 3, it was 17 years again.
Yeah. Let's take a look here real quick.
Okay.
Yes, 2003.
February 1st,
Yep, I was right. I can't believe I shot for that and I got it right.
2003.
Yes.
That's pretty
February
good, man.
1st, 2003, the space shuttle Columbia is what it was.
Columbia.
Disintegrated upon re-entering Earth's atmosphere, killing all 7 crew members. The disaster was the second fatal accident in the space shuttle program after Space Shuttle Challenger, which broke apart and killed the 7-member crew 73 seconds after liftoff in 1986. Yeah, so I remember being in class and people being like, the day before, I should say. I was in class and everybody's like, "Yeah, they're gonna put it on the TV," because at this point in time, in the 80s, we didn't have much for audio video selections, so we kind of had to go with every classroom had a TV that could plug directly into like cable for the most part. And it was at that point that the day before they said, "Yeah, we're gonna plug in and watch this," and it just so happens that's the day I decided I was not going to go to school. Right. Now, I don't remember if it was because I wanted to go to school. I didn't want to go to school and stay at home to watch the Challenger, because I did do that. I was there watching live as it happened at my house. But I don't remember if it was that or just being a dick. And it just didn't want to go to school. I don't know, one way or the other. But the thing was, it's like, oh, man, these weird events in my life happen when I'm paying attention. It's very strange. It's very, very strange. It's like crazy shit.
What were you doing on 9/11?
I'd actually played hooky from work. Believe it or not, I'd called off sick, and I really was kind of sick. But I was sitting there, and here's the even weirder part. Okay, my job at that point in time, I had to get up kind of earlier in the morning, but I was still that person that wanted to stay awake late at night, so I'd sleep in. That day, since I was sick, I got up early because I couldn't sleep. My nose was clogged up or something. I don't remember. And yeah, I got up and started watching TV, dude. And I was watching as they, I believe it was Good Morning America said, "Oh, there appears to have been an accident at the first tower of the World Trade Centers." And I'm just like, oh, and they're like, "We're going to take you to a live shot from Brooklyn." And they did. And I was like, dude, that's like fucking burning. I'm like, that's really bad. And they were watching. And all of a sudden this other plane just starts fucking flying right towards it. And I'm just like, my jaw dropped. I didn't know what to say. I got chills. I got, the whole response was just, oh my God. I don't even know what to believe at this point. And I ran in and I told my wife, and I said, "Listen," I said, "you've got to see this. This is devastating." And I took her, brought her in and watched it. And of course they played it over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, as soon as she came in and saw that, she was devastated too. It was really, really bad shit. Where were you on 9/11?
I was in the woods. I was getting ready to be married a week later.
Yeah.
And the Sunday before the wedding, I went into the woods. It was me and father-in-law.
Okay.
And we were shooting guns and having fun. Father-in-law remembers it differently. I don't.
Okay.
I remember the beautiful, gorgeous Tuesday morning, just waking up, had some breakfast. Wasn't going to do much, but, cabin stuff. I was up in the cabin in the middle of the woods with my soon-to-be father-in-law.
Right.
And he again, his story is different, but we turned on the radio for, nobody listens to the radio up there.
Yeah.
And we just turned it on.
Just for shits and giggles.
And the towers have collapsed. What?
Yeah.
I knew right away it was tow heads.
Yeah, it had to be something I was going to...
I knew right away. And then I got married a couple of days later.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
You did.
So...
Yeah, I was there for that.
I wasn't.
No, I know. Mentally, we weren't there. We were out of our gourds.
That was the only wedding I wasn't high at.
Yay. Yeah, everybody else's, man. Let's invite Dan. He's going to be stoned. Sure. So.
I can't remember when I got high, the day I got married. I don't remember.
You don't remember it?
Well, I remember the day. I remember the day very well, but I remember not getting high.
Okay.
Just so I couldn't not be high, so I could be sober for my wedding.
Yeah.
And my first wedding, I was sober for the ceremony, and then I got high afterwards. And
did she know you got high at that point?
I don't think she knew.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't think she knew.
It made me think. Yeah.
It was with her brother, and she had two brothers that I really got along well with.
Right.
One was her adopted brother, and the other was her real brother. She was adopted.
Right.
And her adopted brother walked up to the house with me to change clothes, and he whips out a joint. This wasn't planned, but you know what? If you're going to light a joint in front of me...
It's a crinkly joint. Look at that thing.
I can't say no. I can't say no.
I can't turn it down, man. I can't turn it down.
What other air disasters do you remember? Do you remember the... you might have been a little bit young for this. I was young. Do you remember in Chicago a DC-10 taking off, losing its engine, right on takeoff? Because the engine was left on the runway.
No.
And it took off and then got semi-inverted and went around the airport semi-inverted, and it just crashed.
No shit.
They grounded all DC-10s for a while after that. And I think because of that, they quit making them.
That is that is ringing a bell. I don't know
Well,
why.
I'm sure you've seen a picture of O'Hare.
Yeah.
O'Hare. Well, it was a picture of O'Hare Airport parking lot and this giant semi-inverted plane in the background. If you were to look it up, I bet you. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. Let me see.
And let's see, what other air disasters do I remember? I remember U.S. Air crashing in Pittsburgh.
U.S. Air crashing in Pittsburgh.
Do you remember when a plane crashed in the Potomac River in D.C.?
Yes.
On a snowy, freezing, frigid, cold day?
Yeah, I do.
don't think anybody was killed.
They weren't. It actually landed just like Sully's did.
Okay.
They landed in the river and people got out. But the problem was...
It was cold.
It was freezing. And then they had to get out of the water fast. Otherwise, they would have gotten hypothermia.
Yes.
So a lot of them were trying to get on top of the plane. And they did. They successfully got there. But other people are still left in the water. You can't help them. Because the way the curvature of the plane is, it's like,
Well, it's sinking anyways, isn't
right,
it?
yeah. At that point, yeah, it's starting to, and a lot.
Is the Potomac deep enough to submerge in at 747?
Yes. I'm pretty
wow.
sure it is at that point, yeah. Where it was at is at the Key Bridge. As a matter of fact, that one stands out so well in my mind. I don't know if I ever mentioned it before, but Howard Stern was actually in D.C. working at DC 101, which was the radio station there at that point in time.
Okay.
Still there, I think.
Rock 101.
Yeah, DC 101. Yeah, exactly. The Atom Smasher, the Grease Man, all those fuckers. Anyway, Howard Stern was there, and he got fired that day.
That day?
That day.
Anything with the air crash? Or
Yes. Yep.
Why? What did he say?
He called and asked for tickets to the bridge. I shit you not. And he and Robin were both there. They were both working there at that point in
That
time.
black girl was working with him?
Yes. Yep. She's been with
all
him a
those
very
years
long time.
ago.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, in his biopic, the picture of his life, pretty much, it shows where they met, and it was shortly thereafter, or just before DC, if I'm not mistaken. But she became his producer at that point, and yeah, they were there, and he got in a lot of fucking trouble.
Looking back now, you say, well, what do you expect him to say?
Right, exactly.
He's Howard Stern, but I guess nobody really even realized who Howard Stern was yet.
Right, exactly.
Did he go by Howard Stern?
Yes,
on the radio?
he did.
He did.
Yep.
And do you remember any other air disasters? How about this one? Do you remember JetBlue smashing into the Everglades?
I do, yeah.
It came straight down and just implanted itself deep into the Everglades. I don't think they ever found anything from that.
I don't think so either. And I think it's a possibility that...
they're still alive down underground?
No, that they never really came to an understanding as to why it...
Well, I guess
it occurred.
They couldn't because nothing to exist. Right. That's what amazes me about air disaster reconstruction.
Right.
You got parts and pieces and mangled shit and stuff that don't even look like it was an airplane.
Right.
And some of these scientists can tell you exactly what happened.
Right.
And how about recently? I don't know if you caught this one.
Which one?
I think it was in Air France again. The plane's engine started disintegrating in flight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do remember
You
that.
got these passengers looking out the window. What the fuck?
Right, exactly.
I don't know about you, man, but all of a sudden I'm religious.
Yeah. Dear God. I'm an atheist. Oh.
I said prayers every time I went up, before I went up.
I believe it, yeah. Actually, I'm watching a reenactment of your Chicago flight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, DC-10 accident flight 191 in Chicago.
Does it show where the engine just separates from the wing?
Yes, and it's a 3D representation of it. There's a couple of pictures that people took of the flight. They saw that it was in trouble, and apparently everybody on it died.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was pretty bad as it was coming down, because the empty side started dropping low, and that's why they were doing sideways.
Oh my God! Everybody, get on the upper part of the aircraft! Hurry!
Exactly. There's one thing here. It's the most shocking and extreme plane crashes caught on camera.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of these are fucking nasty, dude.
Oh man, I don't know if I can even actually watch that video.
God, that's fucking horrible. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, that's. I don't remember many other plane crashes.
For some reason, I remember a lot of them.
I mean, I do remember them like vague pieces, bits and pieces here and there, but it's not like ones that really super stuck out.
Here's one I learned of not that long ago, just this year I learned of it.
Yeah.
You know where the town of New Cumberland is?
Yes.
In 1973, there was a plane crash in the town of New Cumberland.
Because the airport there.
Yeah.
Right
in town.
Oh, man.
It's like...
On Bridge Street or whatever.
Well, it was either on 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, one of those numbered streets.
Right.
That intersect with Bridge, but going the other way. And it's like, man...
Yeah.
I never heard about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. So, anyways,
that flight, by the way, the one in Chicago, happened in 1979, so I'd have been like 9 years old, 8 or 9 when it happened.
Yeah, and I was like 4.
May 25th, 1979.
May 25th, 1979.
Yeah.
And I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know why do certain things like stick out? And am I fascinated with air disasters?
I don't know. Maybe
Sure.
you like them. Yeah. We're going down. Tail up, heavy, down. Boom. All right. I don't know, man. I have no idea. But no, I think. This week in general, not only because I have to do a lot of my midterm preparation and stuff, but this week got really heavy all of a sudden, and I mean like mentally heavy and emotionally heavy. Because of this situation that happened in Las Vegas, we got to talk about that. We just have to.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's go to some breaking news.
Breaking news.
And when we come back, we'll talk.
Okay. Sounds good. Breaking news. Wait a minute. You mean commercials, right?
No, I mean skit.
Oh! Breaking news.
Yeah, I had to leave the cat out of the bag.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Okay, we have a skit that sounds like breaking news. Okay.
And there it is. Actually, I do not have that loaded.
No!
My friend. Yes, I don't have it loaded. But yeah, let's just take us to commercial. We'll figure it out.
Let's play some commercials.
All right, sounds good. The following portion of the Jeff and Dan Show is brought to you by Prune Juice. Prune Juice. We make you shit. The preceding portion of the Jeff and Dan Show was brought to you by Hairspray. Because your pubes need to look good too.
Yo, check.
Are you a lonely fat fuck with no life plan, sat playing alone with your joystick again? What the bloody hell are you waiting for? Join Coaching for Geeks. We've got a podcast, we've got coaches, we've got courses, we've got a community. CoachingForGeeks.com.
That's CoachingForGeeks.com. Tonight's programming is brought to you by Apple and the Apple iPhone 8. Apple iPhone 8. It's just a glossier Samsung Galaxy S6. You've saved all your hard-earned cash. You bought the tickets. Your family has made the journey all the way to Isla Sorna. You and the wife are excited. Your kids are excited. So why let a little something like a reptile dysfunction stand in your way?
Oh my God, run!
Heck, you wanted to get a closer look at the abomination that is DNA cloning, and here you are. Look out, little Johnny. That velociraptor is hot on your tail. Oh, Mom, you've officially been eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Don't you feel happier now? Nom nom. They hunt in packs. Oh, God. So why not bring the family down to Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park. Enjoy yourself to death. All right, yeah, so there we go. Yes, due to a faux pas of very, very crammaged stuff this week, I had failed to get this skit completely put together. So we will try and bring that in for you next week.
We will get that for you next week.
We will. It will be done.
So what's happening?
So what is happening? Well, I wanted to talk about the Las Vegas thing, man.
What happened?
Oh my God, seriously? You have no idea, do you?
All I know, there was a bunch of people gambling.
Yeah, no. Somebody decided it would be a fun thing to make a shooting gallery out of a concert. So, yeah, it got kind of ugly. I guarantee Jason Aldean will not be the same.
Oh, not. Yeah. But I know this is going to be terrible to say, but if he plays his cards right and does his marketing right, he's going to be a rich dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all he has to do is make a couple songs about this event.
Right.
And they're going to go viral.
Yeah.
They're going to go...
Well, as long as he's not like strolling along and supporting the dude that did it, but
well, no, but I'm probably going to put it in a crying boohoo, and I don't mean that negatively.
Right, yeah, just a sad song,
a sad country song. Yeah, crying in his beer.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I don't mean that negative, and I don't mean that negative that he's going to get rich, but he's an artist,
right, and that's what he does. So
and he's going to be deeply inspired by these,
right.
And he's going to write some songs.
Right.
And he already is a good musician in the country genre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I as you can tell, I barely knew who he was, but, you know, it's...
I've heard his name thousands of times, but I can't remember what he sings.
Right. I don't know any songs that he sings. As a matter of fact, my wife's kind of like, yeah, well, he's got a couple of songs here and there, but...
Does your wife listen to country?
Sometimes, yeah. Mm. She goes and watches the stuff, too. But, yeah, no... Tragic. 59 people so far dead, 500 and something injured. And apparently the man had 18 weapons.
58 dead.
50. I thought it was 59.
Well, the 59th guy was dead a long time ago.
What, when he got shot?
Yeah, no, the shooter.
Oh, yeah.
He was dead a long time ago.
No, I think they're saying victims. I think they're saying 59 victims. Because the one guy died. And the one guy that died who was in the hospital actually is in our area.
The wrestling coach?
Yes. Yeah, the guy from Shippensburg.
Heard about him.
Yeah, he ended up expiring. The thing, though, was this guy, it just... Why couldn't anybody tell? You know what I mean? First of all, 18 guns there, a total of 40-something guns, and most of those were at his house. Thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition. Tons and tons of explosive-type stuff. And... his girlfriend claims she has a clear conscience about it all because she knew nothing about any of this happening. Right. Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? If she didn't fucking scream out some point and just say, look, you know, enough's enough, man. You got 30 fucking guns. You don't need any more. You know what I mean?
Well, the first question I have to ask her, and I have no right because I'm not her judge, but you saw nothing?
Right.
Nothing ever threw up a red flag to make you go... You know,
yeah,
nothing.
40-something guns. I think I would have started throwing red flags at that point.
Well, I don't think it's the number of guns because my father-in-law has that many.
That's crazy.
Some people have a love for guns.
You know, I understand that. I really do. But at the same time, I mean...
And then some people don't have a love for guns as a hobby. They have a love for violence.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and usually those people you can tell are off the reservation early and you can fucking stop them. But the people that don't show those kinds of things, now that's problematic to me. You know what I mean? Okay.
Yes and no.
You have a shotgun. That's great. No worries. Shotgun's fine. You know, you're not going to go off picking off people from a fucking 32nd or 34th floor of a Mandalay Bay or hotel room with a shotgun. If you are, good luck to you because it's not going to do very much.
What are you going to do? Hit a bird?
Exactly. Another thing, handguns, you know, in his situation, handguns, yeah.
Depends
That would
which
have done.
kind.
Yeah, it could have done
A
damage.
22 would have, like, maybe possibly felt like an acorn whacking you in the head.
Right. Yeah.
A 9mm
Yeah.
could have done
45.
some damage.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the thing. Those automatic weapons, the ones that he converted supposedly, converted to automatic, and they are assault weapons. That's what they're called. They're called assault weapons. And he had numerous versions of those. And that's what the police were kind of like, this is fucked up that this guy has this many assault weapons. It's not a 22 caliber rifle. You know what I mean? It's not a fucking 30-06. You know what I mean? It's not an M4. It's not a carbine. It's not any of that shit. It is fucking AR-15s, Heckler and Koch. You know what I mean? These guns that can do some damage. You know what I mean? And that's what's so problematic to me. It's like, here's what I say. Everybody wants to have their guns. They want a Second Amendment right. Now, people should probably understand that when the founding fathers, Jefferson and Washington and such, got together to create our Constitution, they had never understood the concept of a bullet. They never knew what a bullet was going to be. They had no idea of that. They were thinking, if we wrote this stuff, we're writing this about muskets. You can have a musket to take up in defense for the militia to prevent the government from becoming tyrannical. That's exactly what that amendment is for. And I completely get it. But now that we have bullets and now that we have machine guns and we have things that can shoot so much faster and so much quicker and kill, there's literally guns on the market that will shoot 1,000 bullets a minute. You cannot load them in that fast, but it can do it. A Mac 10 is a perfect example of that. A Mac 9, Mac 10, or a Mac 11. I'm sorry, Mac 10 and Mac 11. They can shoot it that fast. Those are the ones that used to be on Miami Vice. You know what I mean? That shit. That, to me, just screams, hey, listen, let's take a look at this Second Amendment thing. We understand. And I even said it. I put it out there on Facebook. And, of course, I had some retorts and things came back, and it was all good. But I put it out there. I said, listen, you love your gun. Okay, fine. You can have a rifle. No big deal. You're going to go hunting with that. That's fine. You want a shotgun? You can have one of those. That one's for personal defense. If it comes to your house, somebody comes to fuck with you, get that shotgun. Because that's going to take care of a lot of shit right in your way. You know what I mean? You can blow holes through people with that kind of thing at close range. You need a handgun. Okay, personal protection or something to be able to carry with you. That's what you need. That's it. What's the rest for? You know what I mean? It's like, what do you think? Go ahead.
What do you think it would be like today if that's all the citizens of the United States had? A handgun or a shotgun?
And a rifle.
And a rifle.
Yeah, those three things.
What do you think life would be like today?
I think it would be very much softer.
I don't.
You don't?
The government would run every single aspect of our lives because nothing would stop them. They'd have no fear. These guns...
Or what, keep the government in line?
Yes.
Okay, well, I had thought about that. And you're right to an extent. It's the one thing that we need them for, to be able to keep a tyrannical government back. But I watched a video of a Navy ship firing a missile 25 miles inland. Not only did they hit the target perfectly, they hit it within an inch. They also destroyed the top layer, the middle layer, the bottom layer, and part of the ground with a bunker buster. Now, the United States government has drones that can fire these things. Dude, there's no way in hell this is going to be stopping the United States government. If somebody decides they're going to change the way things are, they're going to bring out those drones and they're going to fuck your day all miserable.
Have you ever heard of the agency called the Federal Bureau of Land Management?
Yes.
Did you hear the confrontation about the Bundy Ranch with them?
Yes.
Did you know the federal government backed down?
Yes.
Why?
Because they were in the right. They were in the right. It's federal lands. Federal lands belong to the people, not to the government.
No, they backed down because they were looking at blood spill.
I don't even think that's the reason,
I do.
dude. I don't think that's because there was only one guy left. There was only one guy left. All they had to do, or I'm sorry, I had that backwards. The one guy left, the leader left, and went and negotiated stuff and said to these people, "You guys need to get, come on out and stop fucking around." It was the dad or whatever, the high up.
Clyde Bundy.
Yes, yeah. That was the thing, though. But that still, man, the government. If you think about the government on every level, they have us outdone, outbeaten.
Yes and no. Number one, you can't kill your own and expect to stand. A house divided against itself will crumble.
It's doing that.
So if you go ahead and kill off the people that have guns, you're going to be left with a third of your country.
No, but that's what I'm saying, man. I'm saying it's okay that people have their guns, but to be under this fallacy, this idea that you're going to stop the United States government from doing whatever the fuck the United States government wants to do, that's foul, and that's fake.
I do believe that.
I don't think you can do it. I honestly don't think you could do it.
I don't think there's enough ammo in the U.S. government arsenal to take out the whole United States.
But I'm not saying the whole United States.
That's what they would have to do.
70% of the United States don't own guns. If you calculate children, women, 70% of the United States do not have guns. You can look at the figures; they're out there. It's something like 68 to 69%. So I rounded up to 70. I promise you, dude, it's a lot of people that do not own guns, and pretty much everybody that I know, except for you, don't own guns.
I don't own any guns.
Oh, you don't? Well, see, there, you're on that same list. You're counted, man. You're counted.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. You're right, because
I don't own any guns.
Right.
But if time comes,
you can get
called.
Them. Yeah.
I can get them.
Oh,
and I will. Well, I'm not going to say that.
But I'm not. That's what I'm saying. The United States government has no ability to take out the people. You say because of ammunition. I promise you the armories have more ammunition than the local militias will ever be able to attain.
We were running out of bombs.
Who?
United States.
Oh, we just manufactured more.
In our war with Iraq and Afghanistan, we were starting to run out of missiles.
Yeah, and then we came up with the mother of all bombs, and now it's all fucked up. That thing is nasty as hell, dude. Watch the video of that.
I've heard of that. I've heard of it, and I've never seen it, but I can just... This is the one that sprays gasoline, right?
No.
No?
No, it has multiple warheads, and every one of them armor-piercing. So, it hits its first target and ejects all the other ones that are missile. They turn into missiles, basically, because of the speed and, Newtonian laws. They continue going down, and then those explode, and then they drop more to the base levels. So, it goes right through the roof of whatever you're trying to do and hits basically us down here. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it would be, and I'm pretty sure it would go further than that if I had another floor underneath of us, which I might. I'm growing weed in the basement. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a lot of people bring up that argument that it's for the tyrannical government, and I understand that, but
it absolutely is.
I think it's very problematic, man. I really do. Now, here's the thing, and I will say this, and this could be part of that issue, is that of course you're going to have insubordination. People are going to be like, I'm not shooting on my own people. This is wrong. You know what I mean? So that's a key thing there too, which is emotions, which military hates emotions. So there's that part of it, and then there's also the part that our military numbers are dwindling. They're dwindling pretty bad, too, because kids don't want to fucking go and fight a war. Granted,
but I think we're getting away from conventional warfare of what you and I know conventional warfare to be. I am actually seeing, and what do I know? I'm just some dude.
Well, you're an educated schmuck, just like I am.
I see war turning into robots and droids. Much like the Star Wars movie with the... with those stupid robots?
Pogs. Or no, Porgs. No. You talking about like BB-8 and...
No, they're soldier droids.
Oh, yeah, the battle droids.
Battle droids.
Yeah, okay.
And they talk with this high-pitched, whiny, and they're always making wisecracks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't think I want to go down there. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, those guys.
So we have the technology to do that now. Let's say we just reel off 20,000 robots and go invade China. I'm not suggesting that. This is just a scenario.
Well, China would outman us in no time flat. If we moved to all AI stuff, yeah, China would kill us.
No, I think we're higher in AI. They
Yeah,
can't invent nothing. They copy everything.
They have almost 2 billion people.
So?
They can build them faster than we can even put one together.
And
In the time we put one together, they'll have like 1,000 of them. And yeah, it'll be knockoffs of the ones we own. But they did it cheaper and they did it faster. I guarantee that's going to happen.
and I don't think they would work as well.
Maybe, maybe not. But if you put 1,000 shitty droids up against one really good droid, you're still going to fucking kill that one droid. 1,000 droids are going to knock the shit out of that one droid.
What about the droids in the air?
No, that's true.
Or the droids. The droids. I think we're starting to argue in circles now.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
I think that's the future warfare is not humans running droids, running AI.
Yeah. Oh, well, at one point in time, they said the main wars are going to be in the future not going to involve anything. There's not going to be a name to war anymore. What it's going to be is who's your fastest and best hackers and who can hack into the other country's shit faster and better.
True.
And that makes sense to an extent, especially
Yes.
if there's a droid army involved.
Yes.
Because now those things are not taking their own commands anymore. They could have been hacked by another country who now takes control of them, blah, blah, blah.
And then rehacked and rehacked and rehacked.
Right.
But the beauty of AI is it has to have orders.
Yeah.
It has to have instructions.
Yeah, it has 3 built-in
The
commands.
human mind can change direction instantly.
Right.
And so the human is versatile. Oh, well, I have no idea what I'm saying.
We're working our way around there. It's all good. It's all good.
Anyways.
It's all good. But yeah, that's my main fear.
I do want to bring up one little gun control issue, and it's an issue that I have. It's now they're starting to say, "Oh, this guy had mental illness. We shouldn't let mental people. How do we let mental people get guns?"
No, they
Oh.
said, I thought they were saying he was starting to spiral downward.
Right. He was getting mentally ill.
Yeah, okay.
You
There we go.
mean you haven't heard any mentally ill arguments
Oh yeah.
with
Always.
gun control?
Sure.
So, mentally ill people don't have a right to defend themselves? I guess not.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's just put it on the level exactly. Now, I know what Jason Aldean's band has already said, and the bands that were opening up for him. I know what they've said. Let me ask you this. If you went to that Hymn Hall place out in Ohio and were watching your shit out there, okay, and your wife were executed in that manner, would you still feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Why? Do you well, let me ask you this. Seriously. Do you feel any way that what you're saying is irresponsible?
Nope.
So you think that everybody's deserving of guns, even felons, even people that are coming out of prison who have killed people before?
Not them.
Well, see, you can't do that.
Why not?
That's double standard.
You've been convicted of murder.
That doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It's still a double standard.
No.
I just asked you. I said, should everybody have guns? Yes. Okay, then the felons get guns. Oh, no, we can't do that. Dude, you can't argue back that.
Why not?
Because you can't. You just can't. That if you said it was okay for everybody to have guns.
It is, except for a few people. Most of the people should be allowed to have guns.
Okay, so there's a standard there.
There is a standard.
Okay.
And should we let felons have guns? I don't know, man. If you take somebody that already killed somebody and has a taste of blood, then stuck them in a warehouse for 20 years and did nothing but piss them off even more, so they're coming out even more mad and deranged.
Okay.
No, they can't have a gun.
Well, let me ask you this.
But,
Okay.
are we going to stop him? Hell, fuck no.
No, you're not going to be able to.
He's going to go get his gun. He's going to get a gun from Charlie on the street.
He's going to be able to pick it up from someone. And I agree. I agree.
And the thing with guns, we're never putting that genie in the bottle. back in the bottle.
Once the cap's been opened. You're right.
We're
you're right.
not putting it back in the bottle.
Well, that's
so,
the issue we're running
let's
into
go get
now.
as many guns as we possibly can.
There's been a huge argument about the United States having all these problems with people going off and shooting and killing and mass executions and murders and blah blah blah. First of all, I need to point out something real quick. Felons that would be able to get guns probably already have mental problems, and that's probably the reason why they're in prison to begin with, and probably the reason why we should not give them guns at all. So that I could get behind that. The thing is, though, there's been these arguments. Everybody's been having this thing going on and on and on about the mental patients being able to be found out that that they can't have a weapon, and how do you go about doing that, especially in the situation of this guy, who's the one that really kind of sets everything apart now, because he really wasn't on the scope. Nobody saw him as being a problem. Nobody saw him as a mental issue. Nothing. And his brother even came right out and said he's not a political guy. He doesn't give a shit about politics, apparently. So it's not that. So really, honestly, it was just a joyride for this dude, which is a mental break at that point. But yeah, my issue is this: when it comes to weapons, guns, and so on and so forth, I don't need one to control my life. My life is in control. I don't feel insecure enough to say that I need to have some sort of weapon in my house to protect my family, protect whatever. But at the same time, I see other people and I worry about them. So I have an empathy for those people that don't, that get shot and killed, basically. And that's probably my problem, I guess, is the fact that I have that empathy, and in the regard of that, for people who own guns and are willing to go out. Because guns, like I said, I even said it in the Facebook post, which is no longer there, but I said that guns are only made for one thing.
I read that post, and you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's for killing.
Exactly right.
And fine, so be it. Good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, as long as people understand that. I had some people try to argue with me about that kind of shit, and I'm like, how the fuck do you argue about that? Guns are for killing. That's all they're for. That's it. There's no other explanation for it.
They make fine paperweights.
Yeah, it's scary paperweights. People come into your office.
Guns are made for killing, and that's true. And when you are faced with the threat of your life, you will act differently.
Oh, yeah.
So, if I don't have a gun, and you're a different type of person who likes to bully people around,
mm-hmm.
You bully me around and push me around and call me names and steal my shoes and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I get a gun. Let me change it. Let me change the situation now.
Okay.
I have a gun now. You act accordingly because your life may be threatened if you go and fuck with me.
So you're saying I would stop bullying you if I realized you had a gun?
Yes.
Maybe. I would say, yeah, probably about 80% of the time most people would do that. Then
Maybe
there's that 20% that just doesn't give a fuck.
Okay, well, if you want a piece of lead in your head, all right.
But see, that's as much as I used to think that was kind of cool because I was, gung-ho, Mr., whatever, testosterone or whatever. I've kind of changed my mind on that. I've really kind of come across as, you know what, I don't think putting a bullet in somebody's head is worthy of, being a thing, If somebody is bullying you, you have options. You have very limited options. Like if it were you and I, you know what I mean? Like if somebody was bullying me, well, I'm a little bit older, so it's a little bit more difficult. First of all, they wouldn't be able to bully me because I'd just be like, fuck you. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, let's say at my age, I don't have many options to turn around and be like, oh my God, he's bullying me, So, but younger people, and this is the ones I always worry the most about because younger people are, which is so weird that this fucking guy was 64 years old, I guess just going down the tubes, but young people are the ones that are impressionable, and they're the ones that are going to take into account, okay, this guy's bullying me, I got a gun. I'm going to go to jail because this guy's bullying me and I'm going to shoot and kill him and murder him. What the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? At this point, it's like, oh, wait a minute. If I just didn't let it fucking get to me, or if I just decided, hey, you know what? That guy is an asshole, and to just tell him to his face, you are a fucking asshole.
Okay, let's change the scenario a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
You're stealing my cattle.
Okay.
Every couple of nights you come by and take a cow.
Okay.
What should happen to you? Do you think I should... Sir, you've been taking my cows.
Yeah.
Could you please stop?
There's things you can do. I mean, there's other things besides that.
I guarantee you you're going to let that cow go, and you're going to get the hell out of that farmer's field real fucking quick.
Okay, but think about this for a second. Think why that guy's stealing a cow. Why is he stealing a cow every night?
Does it matter?
Yeah, it does.
Why?
Because imagine if he's just trying... Okay, great scenario. Kids running, mothers running through a town in the olden days where there was like a fruit stand and shit on the streets, and she grabbed a bunch of stuff and ran as fast as she could and grabbed a can of like meatloaf or something. Can of meatloaf. Fucking nasty.
They call it spam, Jeff.
Spam light. Less. No, but yes, she runs and she gets away. She goes, and the guy chases her down and finds her cowering in a small shed with her children. Now, he had every gumption in the world to take her and beat her, throttle the fucking shit out of her for stealing from him. But then he gets there and he sees what's going on in the situation and realizes that there was a reason for this woman to do this. Whether it was right or wrong, there was a specific reason for it. Now, if a guy's coming to your land and stealing a cow and taking it and selling it for the money, then yeah, I think throttling his ass or just getting his attention with a rack would be a good idea. But if he's taking your cattle to feed the poor, or if he's taking your cattle in order to assure that you are going to have more cows in the future. I know that sounds strange, but that's actually happened. People took the cows from ranchers' farms, went and bred the fucking things, had more cows through several different cows, gave most of the cattle back.
So, if your intentions are doing good, it's okay.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying every one of them goes by merit. It's merit.
Right. You have to be a responsible gun owner.
Sure.
And most gun owners are responsible people.
To an extent.
There are some nuts, obviously, just demonstrated the other day.
Yeah.
I forget where I was going. Oh, yeah. My basic point is you have to be responsible with your gun ownership.
Sure.
Okay? Let's just say that woman plucked a couple fruits from your fruit stand, and you got your gun, and you followed her, and you was going to put a bullet in her head.
Yeah.
I almost said titty.
Right in the boob.
And you get there, and there she is with 3 children.
Yeah.
The responsible gun owner should just put the gun away. Look, lady, we need to have a talk.
Yeah.
And do something instead of maybe pouring a bucket of ice water on her head and doing the ALS challenge. Actually do something about it.
Yeah.
And say, lady, you need a job. Or maybe you need something or other than that, this, that, and the other thing. You don't need food stamps.
Well, see, yeah. Here's the thing, though. And this is where it becomes part of a problem. Let's say we did go with that scenario and the responsible gun owner puts their gun away and they say, listen, we need to have a talk. And they sit down and they say, you need to find a job. One of the first things that's going to come out of this lady's mouth is A, I don't have a place to live. B, I have no way of taking a shower. C, I have no clean clothing to go to this job. And F, there's just no way that I'm going to be able to do this without help. That being the problem.
Yes.
Because a responsible gun owner is more than likely going to say, not my fucking problem.
If he's responsible, I think he would say, I think I should do something about this. I'm not going to just holster my weapon and go back and sell more fruits. Watermelon! Get your watermelon!
But now see
this issue kind of ties in with social welfare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, only because we started bringing it up in that
Right,
content.
right. It's the church's problem. I believe Christians should lift this lady up.
Sure.
Or Muslims.
Or anybody.
Or anybody, yes.
Yeah.
But it's the church's job, which I am a member of the church, and the church has not been doing their job for the last 20, 30 years.
Right. Exactly. See, that's the thing about all of these situations. Every single situation you get in, and it's the only reason why I brought this up this specific way, was that I wanted you to see there's very finite details in all of this shit. Every single story is different. Every single situation can only be what it's exact and pointed towards. In other words, this woman needs help, and nobody knows that she needs help, and they found out the hard way. Maybe she did go and ask people for help. Maybe she did visit the church, and the church said, I'm sorry, we're too taxed as it is right now. We have less congregation and more people who are poor to help. Which happens.
Is true. That is very true.
Happens very often.
Yes.
Now, the problem, though, is how do you help this woman?
Well, my God isn't short of cash, mister. So...
Not if it's Joel Osteen, no. Not short of cash at
That's
all.
not God's cash.
I know, right? Yeah.
God will provide a way. He just doesn't say, okay, here's the budget and here's a gob of cash. No, he's going to let the cash slowly come to you.
Sure.
I believe.
Yeah. Do you believe God has a greater plan? Do you honestly believe that God? I mean, I'm not doubting your religion, not at all. I'm just saying, do you believe God has a plan for everybody? Like He knows what's going to happen with you?
I believe He knows what's going to happen to me. Does He have a plan? I think He has a generic plan that has a lot of what ifs.
Yeah, that could happen, and so on as what. But somewhere in the Bible, I believe it says, when you are born, God knows your birth and knows your death.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be the same as destiny?
Yes.
That's the reason why I don't own guns. I'm dead serious, dude. The only reason why I don't own guns, well, besides the fact that I'm provided against the law for being able to fucking do it, but I could still own guns if I really wanted to. But I don't own them because of that. Now, just think about this for a second. Imagine you ride in your car every single day, okay? You take off in your car. You don't wear a seatbelt, but you make all of your family wear a seatbelt. You don't, though. It sounds so weird when I say that because it's exactly what I do. I make all of my family wear seatbelts, but I don't. Because I believe truly in destiny. And I believe that if destiny is going to happen, it's done for a reason. So if I get into a car accident and I get thrown from the car and killed, then it happened for a reason.
Yes and no, but if God has a plan for your life and you're supposed to die when you're 80, you're supposed to die when you're 81.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of things are supposed to happen.
Right.
Parents aren't supposed to leave their children.
Oh, yeah. There's tons and tons of shit like that.
But I don't believe you can prolong your life in destiny, but I believe you can facilitate it happening sooner.
I don't think that.
And again, there's a lot of contingency plans with God.
Well,
I can't speak for God, but
I think God knows your out point. If God's there, God knows your out point. He knows when you're done. This is how you're done. This is what did you in. If that's the case, then my time's coming. It's fine. If somebody tries to break into my house and they break into my house and they try and kill me in the process, my destiny proves that this is where I was supposed to die. Right here, right now. And if I don't, then that's true too. And my destiny continues on. Until I do get to the point where I'm like, okay, now I've got to die.
So you wouldn't defend yourself?
No. I'm not saying that I wouldn't do that. No, not at all. Not at all.
And I know that.
Just like when I'm driving a car, if something were to happen, I'm not just going to go, oh, Jesus, take the wheel, you know? Not at all, dude. I am going to...
Oh, my, here comes somebody into my lane. Well, destiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, shit, I guess that's the way it's going to be fucking done. But no. And then all of a sudden something reaches down out of the clouds and grabs the other car and pulls it back and I just keep going. No, but that's...
I think that happens.
I do too. I do. I honestly do. It's not guardian angels to me, though. I think it's just that destiny thing, man. If this is my God and my all-true omnipotent being, somebody that's outside of me and controlling things in my life, destiny is it. And that's just like saying, hey, there's a God, and you just have to be a good person and blah, blah, blah. The only thing is there's no end story to it. Destiny is destiny. Once you're done, that's it.
You don't believe that there's anything of us that goes on?
I really don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. So, I mean, that's why I'm always considered agnostic, because I'm kind of like, I just need something to show me. Something to show me, just something, one little thing, not a miracle. I've seen miracles happen. I really have. But just something outside the ordinary. Something like, I was like, oh, wow, I could have done that on my video editing machine downstairs. And this really cool light thing came out of the sky and this aura, or whatever. Something otherworldly, basically. Have an angel come visit me. You know what I mean? Even if it's just a beacon of light.
If that was the case, dude, we'd all be given those moments.
I think that but here's the thing. How it harkens back to the blue and black dress. It really does. It harkens back to the blue and black dress. You remember the blue and black dress?
Yes.
Is it blue and black or is it white and yellow? Think about this for a second. We never doubt that. Never once. You might have looked at it and saw white and yellow, and I saw blue and black.
I think I saw white and yellow.
Yeah, and I saw blue and black. And here's the thing. Like, I can be talking to you, but unless I bring it up, you'll never know. You will never know. You'll be thinking for the rest of your life, that dress was white and yellow. And I'll be thinking for the rest of my life, that dress is blue and black. Just like your car to you might look red, but to me it might look brown. But I'm never going to say that to you unless there's some kind of reason I have to bring that up. So imagine if that's the situation. Imagine if somebody says, I get little twinkles of light every once in a while near my eye, and then I see something and then I hear something talking to me. Well, if I don't have a reason to bring that up to you, why would I? You know what I mean? So you see what I'm saying? It's that thing that we don't know. It's a really, really weird situation, but it's possible everybody on this planet has had these moments of interaction with a celestial being, and I just haven't. Maybe mine's coming up and I'll know. You know what I mean?
Are you sure you haven't had it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Well, dude, you said you witnessed miracles.
Yeah, I've seen miracles.
Shouldn't that be enough? Have you ever seen any of your children born?
Yes. Miracle of life. That's what I mean. That's one of the things I was talking about. That miracle of them being able to break that threshold and coming into the world, even though they were kind of doing that for 9 months in their own room. They had a room with a view, So, I agree. That's sort of a miracle. But I've seen miracles where people had cancer. It was inoperable. There we go. And they went and had a surgery to try and correct something on the outside of that tumor. And, tried to get off pieces of it to see if it would go away. And damned if they didn't lose all their cancer. It just disappeared like nothing. And people were just like, how did this even happen? It's a miracle. It is literally, there's some scientific understanding as to why it might have happened. But we as human beings that don't quite comprehend exactly what has to go on in the human body, we're going to believe that it's a miracle. So I've seen stuff like that. I've seen it. And I've also seen things that made me think, wow, this is like an anti-miracle. Seriously. Stuff where it's just like, you thought, oh, your grandmother has, liver cancer and she's dying and she has approximately 6 months to live. And then she gets hit by a Mack truck. Then you sort of think to yourself, wow, this is kind of like an anti-miracle in a way because, we thought she was going to live that extra 6 months and she ended up popping off. So, but that's neither here nor there. I think, honestly, we really went way around.
We sure did.
I love the segues. They're freaking awesome. But no, it's just, I don't, I like I said, I'm not against people owning guns. I really am not. I believe people should be able to own guns. But why they need 40 of them, I have no idea. Unless you're a gun collector or hobbyist. And that's your passion, your thing. It's like, well, I've got this flintlock. People who love guns have an appreciation for the types of guns. They're not like, oh, I have the whole Winchester collection. No, they're like, I have this flintlock from 1787. And, that's really what those people are about. And that I understand. And if they go ape shit, well, then that's just one off the reservation that just, you weren't expecting. But
go ahead.
2 questions.
Okay. if there was never a thing called guns that were invented,
Okay.
do you think people would still kill each other?
Yes.
Yes.
There would still be murder, but there wouldn't be quite as much. It'd be a lot harder if Stephen Paddock decided to run down into the crowd and stab everybody.
I'm going to throw rocks at you!
That's right. Exactly.
Throwing rocks from the bell tower.
Right. That sucks. What's your second question?
Second question is, have you ever seen evil?
Depends on what you mean by that.
This situation in Nevada, you don't classify that as evil?
I do classify it as evil, but not probably why everybody else thinks it's evil. I think it's evil because the guy really kind of just went to a direction that it's very hard to explain, but
So to you, it's not evil, it's science.
no, it's part both. It's part both. I think something fucked up in his mind, yeah. So it ended up getting switched, and yeah, he ended up doing something stupid. Now, whether or not it's too much lithium in his water, or it was just too much, testosterone in his system because his balls blew up or something, I don't know. Yeah, it could have been a scientific reason, and usually they are. But at the same time, it could have been something like, But that was the thing, too, and I don't know if we've had that conversation before. The devil, and they're like, oh, the devil made me do it. The devil came to me and told me to freeze my child and kill them,
But you didn't have to slice them like bread.
Right, but here's the thing, and this is the one thing most people don't even realize, is in the Bible, even when the devil was to be spoken of, he was an angel to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what he was set to do was to take upon souls that had lost their way and punish them.
No, I think his original job was a musician.
In heaven, yeah.
Until he thought he was God. He was better than God.
Better than God, yeah.
He can do this whole earth thing better than God can. So he rebelled against God. And
Yeah.
and my belief is, at that point, that's when he put himself against God. And it's kind of like this obsessed, if I can get into the devil's head for a second, this
Sure.
obsessed... Me and you are not friends, we're enemies, okay?
Okay.
Let's just pretend that.
All right.
And you have you grow some really nice pumpkins,
Okay.
being that it's Halloween. And
Yeah.
you have gorgeous pumpkins and pumpkins of all types, and you really take pride in your pumpkins, and you love your pumpkins.
Yeah.
And that is your obsession, is these pumpkins.
Okay.
And here comes me. I'm pissed at you and I hate you. Let's go attack his pumpkins.
Okay.
Smash them all over the road.
Yeah. All right. I get it.
So, when it comes to humans, I think the devil wants to smash our heads against the road just to get back at God.
Isn't there a possibility, though, that the devil is just a gatekeeper and the person that causes this punishment and not the person that sort of entices people? I would think more that demons would be the evil, habitual evil that comes up and does stuff to people and makes them do things. I would think that the devil maybe coordinated it, but that's about it.
I think demons are fallen angels.
Yeah. Usually.
And demons pretty much are henchmen for the devil.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing, and I think the devil kind of got sick of the fact God had so many rules. And he was just like, I can do your job and free everybody up from this shit, and we can do the rule. We don't have to have rules. And that's, when he went to hell, that was basically his way of being able to be ruleless, if you will. And he could pretty much do whatever he wanted, except for the fact that he was castigated there. He couldn't, leave. I'm going to leave.
He does have free reign to patrol the earth.
I didn't think he did.
He does.
I thought it was just the battleground.
No, in the book of Revelation, Satan patrols the earth and the shores of earth.
I thought that,
several times.
After Christ came back, though, right?
No, before Christ came back.
Oh, all right.
But, anyways.
Yeah.
Wow. Airlines to guns to Satan.
To warped motherfuckers to Satan. Yeah, exactly.
So,
I mean, it's, It was an interesting evening.
it wasn't very Wasn't very funny tonight, but
Yeah, no, we'll get back to funny soon.
yeah.
I know we will.
I really wish we could have did Gay Up the Tunes.
I know, man. I'm sorry. I will have that next week, I promise.
I have some screams for Gay Up the Tunes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I want to start doing them now, but I can't. Yeah, I'm going to do Gay Up too. I want to be gay.
I'm going to gay the damn thing up,
You know? Well, no. Are we going to do Gay Up the Tunes next week?
I believe so, yeah.
How about this?
Okay.
How about this? We do Gay Up the Tunes, and then we have a serious homosexual conversation.
Ooh.
Wait. Let me change that.
Yeah, make that different.
We do Gay Up the Tunes, and then we have a serious conversation about homosexuality.
There you go. That could work. It still didn't come out good, man.
Okay,
Everybody's
we
like,
talk about other gay people.
Jeff's not talking right now because he's blowing Dan.
Jeff's mouth is full right now.
Exactly.
Jeff's got herpes. Sorry, Jeff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely. We can do that. We can do that. Anything we need to bring along for that, or no? Just our heads
Just our heads.
and our brains.
In an orifice.
Lovely. This is going to be a great one. You guys got to pay attention to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. All right, well, we're going to split a little bit early tonight. Hopefully get this one skit done. And there may be the possibility that we have a guest next week.
Maybe a guest next week.
Maybe a guest. We're going to keep it a secret so nobody will actually know.
Can't
So,
tell you now.
Yeah, but I promise you want to be here for that show. And, yeah, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
All right, man. So I'm going to rock and roll out of here.
Okay.
And you guys have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Jeff and Dan Airlines and our captain, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome you to Amsterdam. Your luggage can be found at the baggage claim area in Salt Lake City, Utah. You will notice that the flight arrived 15 minutes early, so if we are ever 15 minutes late, call it even. The captain is taxiing the aircraft to the disembarkment gate, so please ask for a few more moments of your patience. When we arrive at the gate, be sure to take all of your stowaway bags with you, and remember, the last one off has to clean the cabin and turn out the lights. As always, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch the return flight next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, jeffanddan.com. Thanks again for getting high with us. Have a good night and a great week.